Have you ever wondered what lengths people might go to for a blessing? In our tale today, we meet four key figures: Isaac, an old man whose eyes have lost their light; Esau, his eldest and favored son; Jacob, the younger, quieter son; and Rebekah, the mother who loved Jacob a little more than she perhaps should have. Isaac, feeling the weight of his years and the dimness of his sight, calls Esau to him. He asks for a simple favor: to hunt and prepare his favorite meal, venison, so that he may bless Esau with all his heart before he leaves this world. Obliging, Esau sets off into the field, bow and quiver in hand, his mind filled with thoughts of the blessing he's about to receive. But unbeknownst to Esau and Isaac, Rebekah overhears their conversation and hatches a plan of her own. In a twist of fate, Rebekah sets her own plan into motion. She overhears her husband Isaac's conversation with their eldest son Esau about his impending death and his desire to bestow a blessing upon Esau, a blessing that would secure a prosperous future. But Rebekah has a different design in mind. She would rather have Jacob, her younger son, receive this blessing. She calls Jacob and relays to him the conversation she overheard. Her plan is audacious and risky. Jacob is to impersonate Esau, prepare a meal for their father, and receive the blessing meant for his older brother. It's a plan that hinges on deception, but for Rebekah the stakes are high and the rewards invaluable. Jacob, however, is hesitant. He points out a seemingly insurmountable obstacle. He and Esau are physically different. Esau is hairy, while Jacob is smooth-skinned. If Isaac were to touch him, he would immediately know that Jacob is not Esau, and the scheme would unravel. But Rebekah, ever resourceful, has a solution. She instructs Jacob to fetch 2 young goats. From these, she would prepare a meal that would taste just like the one Esau would have made. But that's not all. The skins of these goats would serve another purpose. She would use them to cover Jacob's hands and neck, creating the illusion of hairiness. With this, she hopes to fool Isaac, whose eyesight has dimmed with age. Jacob follows his mother's instructions. He fetches the goats, and Rebekah prepares a meal. She then dresses Jacob in Esau's clothes and covers his hands and the smooth part of his neck with the skins of the goats. The transformation is complete. Jacob, now disguised as Esau, is ready to present himself to their father. With everything in place, Jacob is ready to impersonate his brother. This is the moment of truth, the culmination of Rebekah's plan. What will happen next is anyone's guess. Donned in Esau's clothes and bearing his brother's scent, Jacob approaches his father. Here begins a tense, heart-racing interaction, the climax of a well-orchestrated deception. Jacob, draped in the mantle of his brother, steps into the dimly lit space where his father Isaac awaits his eldest son Esau. The air is thick with anticipation. Jacob's voice trembles slightly as he presents himself. "My father," he says, his voice echoing in the silence. Isaac, his eyes clouded with age, responds, "Here am I. Who art thou, my son?" Jacob, with a gulp, lies, "I am Esau, thy firstborn." A pause hangs in the air, a moment stretching into eternity. Jacob's heart pounds in his chest, his breath hitching in the tense silence. Isaac, ever the discerning father, probes further. "How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son?" he asks. Jacob, quick on his feet, credits the Lord for his expedient success. Isaac, still unsure, asks his son to come closer, to feel him. As Jacob moves closer, Isaac touches him, feeling the goat skin on his hands, mistaking it for Esau's hairy arms. The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau, Isaac muses, his senses betraying him in his old age. Jacob, his nerves buzzing, continues the act. He serves his father the meal prepared by Rebekah, his mother. Isaac eats, drinks, and then asks Jacob, still believing him to be Esau, to come closer. Jacob obliges, and Isaac kisses his son, inhaling the scent of his clothes. Fooled by the familiar fragrance, Isaac declares, "See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed." And just like that, Jacob, posing as Esau, receives his father's blessing. The act of deception, a gamble of immense proportions, pays off. But at what cost? The blessing is won, but the truth is lost in the shadows, a secret shared between a mother and her son. But every action has consequences, and Jacob's deception was no exception. Imagine Esau returning from the fields, wearied from the hunt, clutching the fruits of his labor, eager to present them to his father. He enters his father's room, full of anticipation, only to be met with confusion and shock. His blessing, That sacred affirmation of his birthright has already been given, not to him, but to his younger brother Jacob. The joy of the hunt, the satisfaction of fulfilling his father's request, all evaporated in an instant, replaced by a profound sense of loss and betrayal. Isaac, too, is rocked by the truth. The taste of the savory meat still lingering on his lips, the echo of the blessing still ringing in his ears. He is confronted with a reality he could hardly fathom. His trust, once placed unwaveringly in his eldest son, is shattered. His heart, once filled with affection for Jacob, is now heavy with sorrow and regret. The realization of Jacob's deceit is a bitter pill to swallow, and it leaves a sour taste of disappointment. The aftermath of Jacob's deception is a dark cloud over the family. The bond between the brothers, once strong and unbreakable, is frayed, threatened to be torn apart by resentment and anger. Esau, robbed of his blessing, harbors a deep-seated grudge against Jacob. His heart, once open to his brother, is now filled with thoughts of revenge. Jacob, on the other hand, is haunted by guilt and fear, forced to live with the consequences of his actions. In the quiet corridors of their home, once filled with laughter and camaraderie, now echo the sounds of regret and accusation. The air, once light with love and understanding, is now heavy with tension and animosity. The family, once united, is now divided, each member nursing their own wounds of betrayal. In a single act of deception, a family was torn apart. But as we shall see in the next chapter, even in the midst of such turmoil, there are lessons to be learned and seeds of redemption to be sown. So, what can we learn from this intricate web of deception and desire? We've journeyed through the story of Isaac, his sons Esau and Jacob, and the pivotal role played by their mother Rebekah. This narrative, steeped in family dynamics, ambition, and intrigue, offers us several insights into human nature and morality. The tale begins with Isaac, nearing the end of his life, wanting to bestow his blessing upon his eldest son, Esau. Rebekah, however, has different plans, and she orchestrates a plot to have the blessing fall upon Jacob, her favored son. This act of deception, driven by a mother's favoritism and a son's ambition, sets in motion a chain of events that reverberate through their lives and the generations to come. In this story, there's no shortage of lessons about honesty and the consequences of deceit. Jacob's lie, though successful in the short term, eventually leads to familial discord and his estrangement from his brother. This highlights the far-reaching effects of deception, reminding us that a lie, big or small, can lead to unintended consequences that ripple through time. Moreover, the tale emphasizes the importance of integrity in family relationships. Rebekah's favoritism and manipulation, as well as Jacob's willingness to deceive his father, create fractures within the family that are difficult to mend. It underlines the reality that trust, once broken, is challenging to restore. Beyond the personal lessons, the story also offers insights into the divine perspective. Even in the midst of deception and human failings, we see a divine plan unfolding. Despite Jacob's deceit, he is not cast aside. Instead, he becomes a pivotal figure in the lineage of faith. This reminds us that, while our actions have consequences, they do not define our ultimate destiny. In the end, the story of Isaac, Esau, and Jacob serves as a timeless reminder of the importance of truth, integrity, and the far-reaching effects of our actions. While the characters and circumstances may belong to a different era, the lessons drawn from their lives resonate with us today, urging us to live with honesty, honor our relationships, and be mindful of the impact of our actions. This tale, while ancient, still resonates with us today. It paints a vivid picture of the complexities of familial bonds, the consequences of deception, and the power of blessings. The story of Isaac and his sons, Esau and Jacob, is not just a narrative of cunning and deceit, but also a lesson of faith, obedience, and divine providence. Each character in the story teaches us something, urging us to examine our own lives and actions. Let's remember the lessons learned from this story: the importance of honesty, the weight of our actions, and the impact of our decisions on others. It encourages us to reflect on our relationships and the roles we play within them, and it prompts us to question, how do we navigate the challenges in our lives? This video was made possible by Michael Hopkins, founder of Jehovah's House of Saints Homeless Mission. For more inspiring stories and messages, visit us at jehovahsaint.com.